Hello, I want to do a short video today on various trials and tribulations of gardening. But before we do, before we talk about the trials and tribulations, we just mention a few nice bits that we have planted. In the last video, I planted a pink rose called Queen Mother, and then these came in. It's called the Lark Ascending. And I remember when I was young in Dollymount, when I'd be in Dollymount and the dunes behind Dollymount Beach, and you'd be lying out and suddenly you'd hear the lark, sound the lark, and you see the lark going straight up. So it's always been in my mind. So it was a great name for a rose, but I like it because unlike a lot of the David Austins, it's not too many petals. It's holding itself reasonably well, and it's against the yellow holly, but it's not yellow. It's yellow with red and cream and a few other mixes that they do in the paint shop put into it. So I think that's going to be really good there. Very good contrast to this Geranium psilostemon. And look at this. We'll have to remove this and this. These are two members of the rose family. It's the native hawthorn, and this is Rosa rubrifolia, which there's the feckless parent there, the reckless parent, being his offspring all over the place. Anyway, that's just a nice start. I'd cheer you up to even looking at that. Oh, another rose. As single roses go, this is called Simply Peach, and I've kind of gone off single roses. I've noticed that they don't tend, for some reason, they don't hold their petals as long, but I'll never go off that one. Now to the important matters. Oh, before we go on to the important matters, Campanula lactiflora, they're all self-sown. That's more or less the standard colour, and there it is in white, and the white is absolutely beautiful because it's tinged. It's got that lovely tinge of another colour behind it, sort of maybe, I don't know, purpley. That's really beautiful. I didn't Chelsea chop it, but if I did, what you could do, you could Chelsea chop some of it so you'd get a succession of flowers, but I left it alone. It's really one of the most easiest of campanulas and most reliable of campanulas you can have, and it will grow in not very dense shade, but it will certainly grow in semi-shade. We have managed to catch 4 rabbits in a week. It actually worked. Carrots do work. Bugs Bunny cartoons weren't wrong. The carrots do actually work. Carrots, and I tried apples, but the birds went in for the apples, so we had very irate blackbirds we had to release. Weren't happy at all. Going to report us to the authorities, so I don't use apples. Carrots and broccoli they're very fond of. You know, the modern rabbit is very on trend, you know, healthy food and stuff. And this is how you set it, like that. And it is important, if you have one of these traps, it is important. I know I'll make a laugh of all this sort of greeny stuff, but it is very important that you check it at least twice a day, because you could catch at least twice a day in case there's something in it, because it just wouldn't be fair. You want to get them out of the trap as soon as possible. You know, I know I complain, I give out, but I mean, you move it back, but that's important. And what you do is you put some stuff at the back, and then you put a few little bits to get them to come in. Just leave them like that. That's it. Hopefully we got our last one today, and hopefully that's the end of it, but we'll keep it running for an extra week. And here we see some of the damage here. But when the rabbit goes, that will very quickly grow and you won't even notice it. Oh yes, before we do our little bit of gardening, this rose here, it's got very mildewed, and I'm not spraying as much as I used to spray roses the whole time. I've more or less given up, so I might get rid of that particular rose and put something else. That one of the flower carpet roses, a red velvet, doesn't give half the trouble. So I'm kind of, it's a mixture of eco and laziness, lookiness, you know, when you're lazy and eco at the same time. And you put econess. I'm a Leco, not an eco. But I wanted to mention this Knautia. It's called Knautia Melton Pastels. It is an extremely good flowering plant. It flowers for ages. Likes the sun, but it will take a little bit of shade. It seeds everywhere. It comes up through other plants. It's easily removed. I'll just give an example. There it is, just seeded in there. And it is just a really, really good plant. Here it is again, in the darker form. Knautia, spelt with a silent K, but everyone can knows that. Okay, we'll there's a few nice things here. Sometimes I get surprised. I say, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that rose there. That's Buff Beauty. It's an old rose. I didn't notice that. That's at least, it's 100 years old. Well, not this particular one, but the variety. And it's as good as any modern rose. Really, really good. Oh, there's Cora Louise. Teeny Cora Louise. And look at that. Wow. That's Astrantia Roma. And according to the books, it doesn't set seed, which means it flowers for longer. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it's very good. And look at the bees. Is that bee? Oh, yes. Yeah, bees. Now, we do our gardening. Have to earn our keep. And by the way, thanks for all the nice comments I get. I don't reply to them because I'm not really good at this. I was never good at school. I was never good at writing sort of stuff. What's the plant up here? Oh yes, Persicaria polymorpha. It is a herbaceous. It dies down below the ground in the winter, and then it gets really big. It's too big. It's bullying the other plants. We're going to take it out and put it here. Perfect here next year. See, when it dies down, it leaves a sort of a gap. It's just too big and bullying. Like it's close relative to the Japanese knotweed that gives all the trouble. I hope it doesn't give up. I hope. But anyway, we're going to plant this with something. We had a plant that got out of hand and we had to take it out, so we need to plant. So we're going to try and we're going to plant something. It's not very common in the trade, so we have to dig it out. Filipendula. Wow, that's a wild rose. Rosa canina. I'm just getting it out of the way because I don't want to get caught. This Filipendula here, we're going to dig it out. It's gone right in here, and we need to be able to get through. I like to be able to get through. So in the day after the longest day of the year, I want to lift this. It's very late this year. You see? I don't think I have any water pipes buried here. We'll find out quick enough. Now, we just do one piece. Now, we do one piece. We'll only plant one piece because I don't want to. They don't stand on the Rebecca. I always say, gardeners, when people who are, I'm teaching, the few people I teach, I always say you have to have a second sense. You automatically know when you're walking in the garden. Always automatically know where your feet are. Sometimes the public come in and they, what's this plant? And they just, you do the herd of elephants through the stuff. The proper gardener, he goes like this, and he does it without even thinking. And here's a piece of it here. Filipendula. I think this is the gorgeous soft pink one. Just about the flower. You can see it. You see it just about. Flowers has to go. Sorry about that. And if it was in the winter, if I was doing this in the winter, I could split it, but I wouldn't split it this time of the year. Now, I think we get away with that. And you can see, you wouldn't even know it's missing. We'll easily get 4 or 5 plants. You can see I had planted a rose here. It's called Tottering-by-Gently, and it was actually eaten, not very gently, by the rabbits. You can see the rabbits have... And you can see, when I planted that rose, there was loads of space. And the Persicaria is taken away. I mean, that rose should be out there. So, we're leaving the Persicaria... Actually scented. It's quite nicely scented. So we let the rose to its devices. And we'll start planting this. Plant one piece here. And this is what we got rid of. We won't let it. Now we'll plant the first piece here. Please let the ground. No, ain't working. Have to go for reinforcements. Bloody hell. This isn't good. What's... Here. They hit a massive rock. Wow. Now it's easy. I don't know what. Another one. Good soil other than that. rock more affects the humans than it affects the plants. Now, where are we? I don't think we need to go any further back. That'll grow out to here. So we put another one here, another one there, another one here, another 3 actually. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And that'll just fill that corner nice, the roses here. And then this is the important thing. And when this is done, there'll be no more stepping. Cannot give enough water, and you rarely use the rose in the watering can. When I started gardening first, professional gardeners, you see, I used the rose, you just didn't do it, and that's how you always tell the amateur gardener with the rose. Professional always, unless it's for damping down seedlings or something, it's the way you do it. Now, what I would do if after a week it's still struggling a bit, I would just nip some of the leaves off, and that will take the pressure away. It won't flower this year, but it should produce lots of foliage. Another one there, another one there, another one there. And by the way, we finally got Heath to finish off. Lots of water on. I'll do it again tomorrow. And to finish off, yes, it was the longest day of the year in Ireland. We have finally got a bit of good weather. A bit of very, very continental weather. That's why I'm wearing my Daisy Dukes.